last week or so has been pretty Doom-centric on this channel. But the Doom franchise is awesome, and if you don't feel that way, well, you're wrong. I feel like video game movies overall get a really bad rap in Hollywood, and they don't always deserve it, but I can understand in some cases why they do. There's been a ton of video game movies made, some better than others. As bad as people say the Mario Brothers movie was, I have very fond memories of that movie. I remember my older sister taking me to the theater to watch it, and I loved it. I can still sit back and eat some popcorn and find some enjoyment in the utter ridiculousness that the Mario Brothers movie is. I mean, mind you, it's nothing like the games, but it's got its goofiness, it's got its quirks. Same goes for both of the Mortal Kombat movies. If you ask anybody now, they'll tell you how bad those movies are. But again, I can still enjoy these.
Your brother's soul is mine. You will be next.
And you're a liar, by the way, if you didn't think the theme song was the greatest song in the entire planet at the time. And I feel that some attempts ended up in genuinely good movies that don't get the praise they deserve. I also enjoyed Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life. It did a great job sending Lara Croft after an ancient artifact, and it's one of my favorite video game movies. Silent Hill did a phenomenal job recreating the creepy atmosphere of the video game. And even use the soundtrack of the actual game. I would love to see more of that done in the future in video game movies. Don't just fill it with a bunch of generic rock music. Some of these game soundtracks rival big movies. Use it. I did mention Silent Hill is a good movie. The second one is garbage. Stay away from that one. It's confusing, it's boring, it makes no sense. First one was good. Prince of Persia was a big budget Disney release. I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the Pirates movies, but it didn't really get a lot of attention. I think it had to do a lot with, at the time when it came out, the Prince of Persia franchise was already pretty much over and done with. Its popularity was nowhere near its peak, so it's not too surprising that it didn't do well. On the other side of the spectrum, there has been horrible, embarrassingly bad attempts at bringing video games to life. There is a plethora of examples. You've got Max Payne, the first Hitman movie. I haven't seen the new one yet, so I can't comment on that. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li were incredible snooze fests that were a challenge to get through. And House of the Dead and Dead or Alive, come on, they didn't even try. Well, in 2005, the year after Doom 3 was released, we finally got a movie. And I feel it represents the frantic action of the game pretty well, with a couple of missteps. And one thing I think that was really cool right off the bat is, for Universal movies, we're used to seeing the Universal logo with the Earth at the beginning. Here it's Mars instead. I thought that was an awesome touch, since that's where the movie takes place. And the movie takes place in the future. A portal was discovered in the Nevada desert in the year 2026, and turns out that this portal was a pathway between Earth and Mars. And the ancient civilization that used to live on Mars used this portal to escape to Earth for some mysterious reason.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, meet Lucy.
So the story picks up 20 years later, in 2046, and the Union Aerospace Corporation had set up shop on Mars to find out why these people that used to live there left the planet. And what happens when a shady corporation gets too curious and starts messing with things they don't understand? All hell breaks loose. Everything in this plot is predictable. There's not really any surprises or twists to be had here. Of course, a military group gets sent to the Mars facility to investigate what's happening up there. All of the characters are stereotypical space marines that have no real backstory and are clearly there just to be killed off one by one. I mean, we've seen this in countless movies like Aliens and Starship Troopers. This is the same thing. So you've got Duke, who's the protective soldier of the group and best friends with Destroyer, who is the heavy weapons tough dude.
Destroyer.
Daddy's home.
Here we've also got Mac. He doesn't do much in this movie at all. He's just there.
You don't look like a Mac. Katsuhiko Kumanosuke Takahashi. So, Mac.
Portman, he's the asshole of the team. He's just kind of a scumbag.
A couple days ago, I asked Sarge for a little pussy. The next day, he brought you onto the team.
Don't give me an excuse, Portman.
And he gets Destroyer killed because he needed to take a dump.
I gotta take a dump.
What? Now?
And Goat. Goat is the religious one. Every time he uses the Lord's name in vain, he cuts a cross into his arm.
I took his name in vain.
And the kid. He's the young rookie on his first mission. Well, that went well for him.
It was his first mission!
The only characters that matter in this movie really come down to three people. You've got Sarge, who's played by The Rock. He's the by-the-book leader of the group, and he plays the same character he does in every movie he's in. The tough military guy with cheesy one-liners.
Not necessarily.
Dr. Carmack's condition is irreversible. Because Carmack's condition is that he's dead. Semper Fi, motherfucker!
Carl Urban, who you might recognize from Lord of the Rings and the super ultra fantastic phenomenal Dredd. Watch this movie. This guy can play the ultimate badass. In Doom, he plays Reaper, who's the movie equivalent of Doom Guy. And he does a fantastic job. The entire reason he went on the mission in the movie is because his parents died in an accident on Mars, and his sister happens to be working on the base, which leads us to our final important character, Samantha Grimm, his sister.
Tell me you didn't let a fine-looking piece of ass like that get away from you, Reaper.
She's my sister.
No shit.
Don't do this again, man.
Do what?
And you might recognize her as Miranda Frost, a 007 villain. And she's a researcher trying to find out why the ancient people who lived on Mars left. And this is my one problem with the movie. It veers away from the game story drastically. The original Doom video game still had an evil company messing around with portals on Mars, but they accidentally opened a portal to hell. And demons come through and decimate the base. Anyone who survived became a monster. And in the games, you usually end up going directly into hell to take the fight directly to the demons. This movie has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with hell, demons, nothing. Instead of opening a portal to hell and unleashing demons, Doom kinda rips off the storyline of the Resident Evil games. All these monsters are just genetic experiments. In this version, the people that used to live on Mars were genetically enhanced with an extra chromosome. All us humans have 23, they had one extra one. And that extra chromosome either made you superhuman or turned you into a monster, depending on whether or not you were genetically prone to being good or evil.
This is brain matter from Portman. This is from Destroyer. It's choosing, John. It's choosing who to infect.
This explanation's fine for the movie, but I would have much rather preferred the video game version. It's a lot scarier. So all these monsters running around in the movie, they're just results of them messing around with the extra chromosome they called C24. I do have to say though, the monsters all look great.
God!
And only use CG when it's necessary. I'm a big fan of prosthetics and makeup in movies, especially monster movies. When you use too much CG, it looks fake, it looks boring, I don't like it. In Doom, all the monsters were designed by Stan Winston Studios, who are also responsible for the creation of the Predator, the Alien Queen, and the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. With a history like that, you know these people know how to make monsters look as cool as possible. Doom also has the best nod to the video game universe that I've ever seen in any video game-based movie. There's an entire sequence filmed in first-person view. I felt like I was watching a live-action reenactment of Doom 3. This is hands down the best scene in the entire movie. And you also see some of the game's more iconic weapons. You see Sarge use the BFG 9000.
Big fucking gun. Oh shit. Holy shit.
And you see Reaper use the chainsaw. And the movie ends with an infected Reaper who has superhuman strength and durability now, an obvious nod to the Berserk power-up in the games, of course, and Sarge, who's slowly turning into a monster and getting more aggressive. So these two go at it in a hand-to-hand brawl, and it's an awesome fight to see. One guy is pretty much invulnerable, and the other guy's just savagely throwing him around. If you're a fan of the games, overall Doom's a movie you'll probably find some enjoyment in. If you haven't seen it yet, you can pick it up online, new or used, anywhere from $5 to $10 on Blu-ray. If you don't know about Doom or care about it, this movie may come off to you as a generic ripoff of Aliens or the countless other monsters and space movies. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Remember to like the video and leave a comment down below. What was your favorite video game movie or least favorite? I'm sure there's plenty of examples of good and bad ones. Comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe!
Almost home.
And make sure you check out some of my other videos. You can actually click some right here on this page. You might find something you slightly enjoy. Next week starts X-Men week, so you definitely don't want to miss what I have coming up. Don't forget to come back to this channel. Anyways guys, this is Fabian from GamerThumbTV. Till next time.